everyone, welcome back to another video. I thought today, because it's kind of snowy outside, it's gloomy, it's January, it's cold, it's winter here where we are in Canada. So I thought what would be more fun than to sit down and start doing a ranking series of all the different theme parks based on our last trip. We were just there in December. We went the first week of December in 2022, and it was a really fun trip. We had such a great time. We hadn't been there. Well, I hadn't been there since 2013, and my husband, Alex, hadn't been there since, that was his first time going. I ended up saving all the guide maps. I'm going to go through and look at the list of rides in each park, starting with Epcot. Let's get into it. So I have saved the guide from Epcot from when we were there. So if you do have one, maybe you can follow along from a recent trip, or you know what, you can actually find these online as well. If you just Google like Epcot Disney guide maps, they will be online there. But I also like to keep these as like a nice souvenir, you know, from like the year that we went. It has like the nice like 50th celebration on there. So, you know, I don't know, maybe it'll be worth something in the future. All right, so this is my cat. This is what she does. Will you go? Go. Come on. What are you doing? Goodness. Just so you know, our ranking system, this will be based on the rides that I have been on our most recent trip, and also kind of like on all my other trips, like over time that I've been there. There may be some things or some attractions that I unfortunately haven't had a chance to get to ride. So that's why they might not appear in this list, and they may be like way higher on your list. So coming in at number 10, Mission Space. This attraction is kind of one that we don't like to go on too much, but it is such a unique experience that I would actually recommend you to try if you're not prone to motion sickness, and definitely if you're nervous, to go on the green side rather than the orange side, because the green side actually doesn't have the spinning. And I remember back in the day they only had like the orange version, and so many people were getting sick riding this ride, so they had to kind of change it up. But it's like a simulator ride. I'm not a huge fan of simulator rides, but then again, they're really, really well done and really well themed. And, you know, if you're, you know, into space and astronauts and all that stuff, this is definitely a ride for you. You get to go in and like control stuff. And so it's really fun, and I would definitely recommend checking it out. But again, if you're worried about motion sickness or prone to it at all, I'd probably skip this one. Coming in at number 9, Turtle Talk with Crush. Really cute to see, you know, Crush talking with the kids and interacting with them, and it's a lot of fun because it's different each time. And I'm also a big fan of Finding Nemo, so it's also air conditioned, so if you are looking for a place to get a break from the heat, this is a nice attraction to go see, and it'll pass the time as well. Coming in at number 8 is the Journey into Imagination with Figment. I know there's some really die-hard fans out there, so totally get it. And I mean, he's pretty cute, and the ride itself is cute, and it actually has Eric Idle. I don't know if there's any Monty Python fans out there, but Eric Idle is on there for the ride. He's kind of like the professor and talking to Figment, and it's a really, really cute ride. And you know, it's just like, it's similar to the Nemo ride, where you sit in like this little ride vehicle and you just go along and go scene to scene, and there's music playing and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's a really cute ride. So, and that is our number 8 slot. Number 7 is The Seas with Nemo and Friends. This is like kind of a quintessential ride that we basically always have to do when we're at Epcot. Finding Nemo has it's like one of my top Pixar films, and we really liked the movie when it came out. You know, again, you're sitting in the clamshell, getting to go through and see all the different scenes and listen to the music. And again, it's a break, it's in air conditioning, and it's really a lot of fun. And it's really well done too, with like some of the animatronics they got going on there, and the way they incorporate different things and aspects from the movie. So definitely check it out, and that is my number 7 slot. Coming in at number 6, we have Spaceship Earth. This is the ride that's in the giant ball, you know, the ball that, you know, this lovely little sparkly shining ball that you see at the front of the park. There's actually a ride inside, and that ride has been there for quite some time. It is kind of in need of a refurbishment, I'm not gonna lie. I think it was up for one back in like 2020 or 2019, and then it got scrapped or put on hold because of the pandemic and everything that happened with that. So I don't think Disney has put it up as a priority yet to get it refurbished. For right now, I mean, I still love it. It's another nostalgic ride that I love to go on, and it's kind of like a must do every time that we go. And it kind of takes you through the different ages of technology, through human history, basically. The smells that you get there every time you're going through Rome, you have that burning smell. I'm pretty sure people have like packed that scent and like made it into candles, which is quite funny, but this is a quintessential ride at Epcot for us as well. Plus you're getting to go up into the ball, which is really cool. And it's a slow moving ride, nothing to worry about with like motion sickness or anything like that. There are some dark parts, but for the most part, you're just, you know, going straight through. Yeah, definitely check it out if you can the next time you're there. And it'll be curious to see what they do for a refurbishment if it ever comes up for one. My number 5 is Soarin'. Now, this actually used to be quite a bit higher on my list before some other rides came out that are actually higher on my list at the moment. But this one is still really cool to go on. It's so relaxing, it's good for all ages, and it's such an interesting experience, and just the way the ride is. But like I could literally sit on that ride for hours and just sit there, watch the screen. It's really nice to be on. But of course, it's not so good if you are afraid of heights. You are kind of in this ride vehicle and your feet dangle, so you want to be watching out for that. But I love the music. I love, you know, just sitting up there swaying and what feels like through the breeze, and almost feels like you're hang gliding, I guess is what it feels like. So Soarin' is awesome. And sometimes I just like putting on, like finding a YouTube video of the actual ride and just watching it and pretending I'm on the ride. So it's super relaxing, super nice to go on, very accessible to everybody. Coming in at number 4 is Test Track. I like Test Track a lot because it is sort of like a thrill-ish ride, which I kind of like. Years ago, it used to be like more like a theme to like the crash dummy, like kind of like a crash course, and you're the dummy that goes in and on the ride and is getting tested and everything, which I thought was really cool. But then they changed it to more of like design your car, and like then you know get to go through the track and actually like test your have your car tested, rather than, I guess, you being in the car as a dummy being tested. Anyways, it was an interesting concept, but I like it for like thrill, and you get like jostled around a little, and the high speed that you go at when you go outside is a lot of fun too. I really like that part, and it sucks when it's raining though. I don't think I've ever been stuck or gone on it when it started raining, but I imagine it would be kind of crappy if you got stuck outside while you're on that ride. So make sure you time it properly, like it's not gonna rain and when you go outside, so it's just sunny and nice and you're not getting all wet. But I really like Test Track, definitely check it out. And yeah, that is my number 4. Getting into the top 3 now. Number 3 is Living with the Land. Okay, I know there's going to be a lot of controversy over it being maybe so high on my list, but it's another nostalgia one for me. Such a relaxing boat ride. It's such a nice way to, first of all, get off your feet, and it kind of teaches you a lot about nature, and it's a learning ride. Let's be honest. You're going to learn something when you're on it. Nothing wrong with that. It's definitely not a thrill ride, nothing like that. But I am a big fan of like nature. I watch nature documentaries all the time growing up, and even now I still watch them. So it's just interesting to learn a little bit. There's cute little animatronics through the ride as well. You know, you'll see some buffalo, you'll see, you know, this dog by the house. I love that dog. I don't know why I'm obsessed with it, but I love it. And then eventually you go into greenhouses. You get to see how they're growing food sustainably at the parks. And I find it so interesting. And I'm actually surprised that, or maybe we have, but I'm actually surprised more places haven't implemented these ways of growing things, because I feel like it would just be way better for the environment. But it's just so interesting to learn and to see there's different ways of growing food. And it's nice to see that Disney's actually, you know, sustaining themselves as well in a way. And, you know, a lot of the food that you see on Living with the Land is actually used in the restaurants at Epcot and maybe at other restaurants around Disney property. So it's really cool to see. I highly recommend you get on it. It's my number 3 just for a myriad of reasons, but I think it's just a must do. I love it. It's relaxing again, and you may learn something too. Number 2, Remy's. So Remy's was brand new for us, and so it's a 4D experience. So you're basically sitting in these like rat mobiles, and you get your 3D glasses on, and you're just going through different scenes, and it actually feels like you're being shrunk down to like a rat, and you're going through like the restaurant and all these different scenes. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I love Ratatouille, but the ride itself was very well done. It was so detailed and like to the point, and there was points when like you did just feel like you were totally immersed in it. Remy's actually uses the trackless technology similar to like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, so it's really cool to see. You may have, you know, a different ride each time, which I think is really cool as well. Remy's is still pretty popular because it just opened recently at Epcot, so it's a newer attraction. So if you do want to check it out, make sure you either get a lightning lane, or if they're doing virtual queue still, definitely try and check that out. You will not be disappointed. So that leaves us with number 1, and I'm sure by now you can probably guess. Yeah, you guessed it. It's Cosmic Rewind. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is one of the most newest attractions at Epcot, and it is super, super popular for good reason. Now, before going to the parks and before we went on our trip and went to Disney World, and I was reading all up about Guardians of the Galaxy, the new ride, what it was all about, what it was like, you know, the ride experience. I was watching POV videos because I was nervous, because I eventually caught wind that a lot of people were getting motion sickness on this ride. So much, in fact, that they had to start putting like garbage cans as like people were getting off the ride because people were getting so sick. So that was kind of worrisome for me, because I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I actually have a fear of throwing up. I was really, really nervous to ride this ride. So when we were there, they were doing Lightning Lane and virtual queue right now because it's still very, very popular. We ended up doing the virtual queue, so we got on that way, and I remember I took so much Gravol, and I had the ginger candies, and I had like basically every, you know, remedy under the book to try and not feel nauseous. And I actually looked up too, before I got on the ride, is you can actually ask to sit at the very front. So the ride itself is in the dark. It's pitch black. Well, not pitch black. It's kind of like, I'd have to explain it. It's like Space Mountain on steroids, I guess you would say. You're basically, you know, on this coaster in the dark, but there's also projections around you. So like from Guardians of the Galaxy, like different scenes based on the storyline of the ride. So you're not completely in the dark, but I must admit there are parts where you probably wouldn't be able to see the track at all, because it's so dark and you're kind of like being flung all over the place. And these the ride vehicles, they do actually turn. You're not spinning, like nothing like Mission Space or like or like the teacups. It's not like that. It's more like of a turn, you know, like you're just turning on the ride. But again, if you haven't been on it before, you're not going to know what that sensation feels like, and I had no idea either, so I was really freaking out. There are points that, you know, you're getting whipped around and stuff. There's not a lot of big hills or anything like that. The ride was also designed to play different music tracks selected at random that actually match up to the way that the ride is moving. There was I think there's like 5 or 6 different tracks, so every ride will be potentially different. When we were there though, they actually had the holiday overlay, so it was kind of like playing a rock version of Christmas songs, which was fine. It was really cool, and it still kind of matched up with the ride. But I mean, there was so much going on that I didn't really even hear the music that much. I mean, maybe if I rode it again, I would notice it, but I was just kind of focused on getting through the ride and making sure I was enjoying myself. From the pre-show to the ride to the end, everything is so well done. And if you're a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, I would 100% recommend going on this, because it is just so much fun. I got off it smiling from ear to ear, and like it's over so quickly too. But it's such a good ride. It's number 1 for a reason on so many people's lists. Definitely check it out. So that's it. That's my top 10 attractions at Epcot. Now my top 10 is probably gonna look maybe a little bit different than yours, because also keep in mind there are some rides that I haven't gotten on yet, unfortunately, like Frozen Ever After. So it's not on my ranked list, but hopefully the next time I go, I can go on it, and then I can decide how much I like it. I hope you found this video useful or enjoyable. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button because this is actually part 1 of 4 of my ranking series. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of them coming up, and also so you don't miss any other future Disney content of mine to come. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are, and take care. Bye.